Antechamber too weird for you? Gone Home, not enough puzzle, and too many lesbian romance tears? Well, look no further, Gorogoa is here. This is a kind of sliding puzzle game, kind of. Gorogoa, which I have a hard time saying, so if I flub it, sorry, is about a giant beast that storms the earth looking for an offering of 5 divine fruits. A young boy sets out on a journey across time and space to reclaim them. The only problem is he's no time traveler, but that's where the panels come in. At least I hope that's what the plot of this game is anyways. You know when art games can be good when Jonathan Blow's name is in the credits? Let me tell you, that's good. Benefati in there too? You have a work of art. Gone Home had both. Work of art. This game's got Jonathan Blow, no Benefati, but that's alright. The whole game is told through these really impressive paintings that you can swap around, zoom, and pan around on, and when 2 adjacent tiles match up, even if they're not in the same space diegetically, their actions performed on one side affect the other, even if they're separated by several years and hundreds of miles. Gorogoa is a little bit of a mind screw, but not to the degree that Antechamber was. The game explicitly tells you when 2 or more tiles are matched up, and typically once you're on the right track, the game prevents you from working backwards, which helps eliminate possible options to narrow you towards solutions. I should note most of these scripts were written the day I finished the game, but for various reasons I had to wait a few days after I finished Gorogoa to write its script. Even still, the game is incredibly memorable, and I can still picture many of the puzzles and solutions in my head. One thing that stands out to me despite the time gap is the soundtrack. It's a very ambient sound with lots of atmosphere and body, and one of the puzzles involves a man in a derelict shack while air raid sirens blare and the mental imagery is still crystal clear. The soundscape is good. It's really good. Gorogoa is about an hour and a half long and not all that different. Steam's global achievement stats assert that over half of all players get to the end of the game. For reference, more people from a percentage basis have completed Gorogoa than have let Wheatley take control of Aperture Science in Portal 2 or have named their first Chow in Sonic Adventure 2. This is a more laid-back puzzle experience, not so much about trying to count out cubes or produce an infinite number of Baba, but more about taking apart the world, literally, in a manner that vaguely reminds me of Eversion, but less horrifying, inspect the moving parts, and then seeing how you can make them interact with each other in a different way. There was like one puzzle early in the game that stumped me to the point of needing a walkthrough, and there were a couple other times I tabbed back to it just to figure out one step and then worked out the puzzle from there, no problem. It's not the sort of game where you'll wander around lost inside of. It wants you to experience its story and themes of loss, war, rebuilding, peace, and spiritual reflection. Or you could leap right over those themes like I did and think the game's just a time travel story about a kid trying to stop a war beast called the Gorogoa and requiring the help of himself in the future to pull through and prevent the cataclysm from destroying the world. I mean, art's subjective, right? Ambiguous story I had to look up aside, Gorogoa is a really short and sweet game with a really impressive mechanic and some absolutely lovely paintings and animations by its designer, Jason Roberts. If you want to help support art, the game is $15 on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and $5 on iOS and Android if you want to play it more portably. And it's an enticing way to spend an evening. I'd also argue that Gone Home is a more replayable game for the money with its multi-layered story, but that appeals to a much more specific niche than Gorogoa, for the sheer volume of hand-drawn art in the game. And it's more than worth the money either way, but I would still recommend picking up it on sale, or, and these are rare words, get ready, on your mobile device if a budget is a concern. Gorogoa is actually completely playable on mobile because it's a sliding puzzle game, not a first-person adventure game. It's perfect. It's just great. It's so great, and I'm wishing Jason and their friends at Annapurna Interactive and Buried Signal the best. By the way, the guys that helped publish Gorogoa also published Donut County. That's kind of the other end of the spectrum for art game, ain't it? If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Patreon and social media links are in the description.